We're getting a big Hogwarts Legacy update, and Assassin's Creed codename Red reveal is in the works. A state of play might be coming, we got new Suicide Squad info, but also some bad news. Because now a month into 2024, we're already seeing a 5,900 plus video game layoffs. From marketing to developers, many people have lost their jobs, and Microsoft had the biggest headline this week. They namely laid off 1,900 Activision Blizzard and Xbox employees, which was 9% of the Microsoft gaming staff. One department that got hit was focused on bringing Xbox games to physical retail, really implying that Microsoft has less and less interest in making boxed Xbox games. We of course also recently learned that Hellblade 2 will only launch digitally, and analyst Daniel Ahmad notes that there are certain AAA games with an 80% plus digital share on Xbox these days. So it's not too surprising that Microsoft is moving away from retailers, as they also get way more money selling their games digitally. They also planned a digital-only Xbox Series X for later this year. We don't know if this is still the plan, but it overall seems inevitable that something like this will happen in the future. Now, if you like physical games, don't worry just yet, because it's worth noting that a little over a third of the top 10 best-selling games of 2023 was sold physically, so there's still a sizable market for it, although it is worth noting that it's especially the Nintendo games that people buy as a boxed copy. But also, every Activision studio and Blizzard team seems to have been impacted by these significant layoffs, with Sledgehammer Games, of course, behind the recent Modern Warfare 3, losing 30% of their workforce. The Overwatch 2 team also got hit by some big layoffs, but they also flat out cancelled Blizzard's survival game, codenamed Odyssey, that has been in development for 6 years. Jason Schreier on Bloomberg reported that Blizzard was looking to expand the team on this survival game to hundreds of people in the hopes of targeting a 2026 release, but that seemed even overly optimistic to some developers. We've only seen a few pieces of concept art for the game, but seemingly because of a switch in engines and just overall mismanagement, this game was not progressing well, so Microsoft likely came in, looked at the progress and was like, we're not gonna do this, and then they also laid off most of the team that worked on it in the process. Which is sad, and also having something new from Blizzard after all these years would be exciting, but now their next 5 to 10 years will likely only include Diablo DLC, Overwatch seasons, and some World of Warcraft expansions. Now, these layoffs were sadly to be expected when two massive publishers like Activision and Microsoft merge together. Like, there will be similar jobs that become redundant, like publishing, IT, lawyers, etc. But there's overall way more going on, looking at the crazy amount of layoffs that we see at every gaming company. Matthew Ball put up a very in-depth article about the state of the gaming industry, showcasing that things are just simply not looking too hot. Basically, in short, there has of course been a ton of growth thanks to COVID, but in 2022 and 2023 things have slowed down significantly. If you compare the gaming revenue from 2023 to pre-COVID numbers in 2019, the increase with inflation is only 6.9%. While in this image, which included info until 2021, we see that the growth per year is way more, and that back then it was also expected that 2022, 2023 would also see significant growth. That just did not happen. So totally one of the main reasons seems to be that everyone at these gaming companies was super bullish about the gaming industry during COVID. We had articles on economic websites saying that gaming is booming and expected to keep growing, so companies were hiring more, but the reality now is that things are still good, but far below what everyone predicted. Now, of course, we got the Switch 2 coming this year. Seems to have an 8-inch LCD display, by the way. Those seem to be the latest rumors. And GTA 6 in 2025 will, of course, be massive, but seems that we have to course correct first. It's just sad that it's at the cost of so many talented people, while the leadership making these bad decisions during COVID remain unharmed. Now, let me know your thoughts, of course, about all this in the comments down below. Now, let's move on to some more positive news, because a big game that will totally help the gaming industry revenue in 2024 is, of course, Assassin's Creed codename Red. Someone at Ubisoft already called it the biggest blockbuster of 2024. Okay. And we now learned that the reveal is being worked on, as found by Assassin's Creed News on Twitter. Philip, a capture artist at Ubisoft Quebec, namely started working on creating promotional gameplay videos, trailers, walkthroughs, making making ofs and a B-roll for the game back in September 2023. So he had some time already, likely with of course help from many other people. I still think we get a reveal at the end of April or in May at the latest. And Elish has found that Naval will be coming back to the game with a gameplay programmer who first worked on Skull and Bones, also seemingly doing naval stuff for Assassin's Creed Red. I really hope it's not a big part of the game and maybe just a few missions like Origins, but either way it looks more and more likely that a reveal will be happening in the coming months, and I will of course keep you up to date here. And if you like these gaming news roundup videos, then totally leave a like, that would really help me out, and subscribe because I post one of these every Sunday. Now, kind of a surprise, but a welcome one, we are getting a big Hogwarts Legacy update this year. Like, we already knew that the amazing PlayStation exclusive mission would be coming to Xbox and PC in 2024, like this is by far the best content in the game, so it's really nice that people on Xbox and PC can now play it as well. It really basically means that you have a fun, free 1-hour DLC to look forward to later this year. While it was first a year-long exclusive, so till February 2024, the Twitter account now talks about it being later this summer, which almost a half year later. But the exciting part is that there will also be additional updates and features for the game coming as well. Stay tuned in the coming months for more details on what's coming to Hogwarts Legacy this year. So that's totally great news. I would love a good reason to boot up the game, even on PlayStation, because people have probably already played the exclusive mission there, but I'm also not really getting my hopes up. Like, I think that if they were actually making new quests or other content, they would have likely said it and made a bigger deal about it. Updates and features sounds more like something that you can do to change the seasons, for example, so we can play in the snow again, or maybe New Game Plus if we are lucky, but nothing bigger than that. I hope I'm wrong, of course. Let me know what features you hope to see in the comments down below, and when we learn more, I will of course let you know. So a state of play is looking more and more likely by the day. We already had Jeff Grubb say it would be happening in the coming weeks, and that was more than 2 weeks ago, but this week we learned, thanks to reliable leaker Bill Khan, who has been right many times before, that Until Dawn is seemingly getting a PS5 and PC version very soon. And just before this rumor, we learned about an Until Dawn movie that is now in the works. Like, Sony is really looking at all their properties and being like, what else can we make a movie out of? They're even doing a Gravity Rush movie, which is kind of crazy. And the other part of this strategy is of course then also launching an updated PS5 version and a PC release. I really hope that you played Until Dawn, because it was a really great, already kind of movie horror game, but we could also of course make choices that had a huge impact. Now, there were totally some story beats that happened no matter what, but I am curious what they make kind of the canon ending in this film. I overall think that it would work really well as a movie, and even if you played it already, it will likely still be slightly different than what you remember. So yeah, we got the Until Dawn game coming to PS5, PC, but also Death Stranding 2 might get a full title reveal very soon, according to that same leaker. It will be called Death Stranding 2 on the Beach. Now let me know what you think of the title in the comments. I'm not really feeling it. But yeah, it has been more than a year now since we got the official announcement trailer, so getting an update would make sense. And fingers crossed it's still coming in 2024, 5 years after the first game. Again, makes sense to have this announcement at the State of Play as well. There's also been this big Final Fantasy VII Rebirth press and creator event going on last week, so we will get a blowout for that game very soon, which could also coincide with the State of Play. And Foam Stars, the other Square Enix game, will be a PlayStation Plus Essential launch title on February 6th, so I'm sure they want to like promote that during a State of Play as well, just like do another trailer for Helldivers 2 that is launching 2 days after that. Yeah, they're slightly different games, but it's still weird that we get 2 big PS5 live service games in the same week, and that one gets the PlayStation Plus spotlight. I totally think that will take away from the Helldivers 2 launch that costs you $40, and then you have to convince your friends to pay the $40 to play together as well. So yeah, I'm totally expecting an uphill battle for Helldivers 2, but I hope of course that it succeeds. Either way, they probably want to promote those titles one last time in a State of Play, so I'm thinking either February 1st, this coming week, or the 8th for an event. And I hope we then see Rise of the Ronin 2, feels like the perfect time for it, and maybe a Stellar Blade release date would be awesome as well. Let me know what you hope to see at the State of Play in the comments down below. And we might see Aloy show up too, as Guerrilla now confirmed that the Forbidden West Complete Edition is dropping on March 21st, 2024. So yes, the Horizon curse continues, because this one day before Rise of the Ronin on PS5, and Dragon's Dogma 2 that also launched on PC. And I totally think there's a big overlap between the audiences for these games, especially Dragon's Dogma 2, again also on PC, and is another single-player action-adventure game where you fight big creatures. So I don't think this release date is smart at all, but it's probably to still have it out before the end of the financial year, which is the end of March. So this PC version of Forbidden West has ultra-wide display support, uses direct storage, support for faster load times, has an unlocked frame rate, and it somehow looks even better. Like, that makes sense on PC, but I never thought while playing the PS5 version, oh, I wish the graphics would get an upgrade. Now, Zero Dawn on PC was more exciting because it was the first time we could play the game at 60 FPS, but Forbidden West on PS5 already had a ton of bells and whistles, so for me, I don't see a reason to play this on PC. Also because it launches around these other two really great games. But still, it's nice that other people now finally get to experience Horizon Forbidden West. It's really amazing. And it will be interesting to see how it sells, because Horizon Zero Dawn is still the best-selling Sony PC game at 3.3 million, with God of War 2018 below that at 2.5 million. Forbidden West is already in the top 10 bestsellers on Steam right now, which is great to see, so fingers crossed that it continues to sell well. While I don't need to see more, we might get a Horizon PC trailer also at the State of Play. Again, expecting an announcement for the State of Play either this coming week or the week after. And maybe Banisher's Ghost of New Eden gets a trailer during that show as well. I can now confirm that I'm playing this brand new single-player action RPG by Donut, but I cannot say anything else yet. Just that I want to thank Focus for the early PS5 code, and that you can look forward to a video on the game before the February 13th release. But Suicide Squad is coming this week. It finally launches after 7 years of development time. It's the first Rocksteady game in 9 years, and early access starts January 30th at midnight on console if you have the deluxe edition, and January 29th 9 PM Pacific time if you are from that part in the US, and Steam gets to play the game on January 30th at 10 AM. And of course, the official launch is on February 2nd. We, by the way, learned that New Game Plus will be in the game at launch with increased difficulties and a special gear for playing through the missions again. Mission replay is a thing, so you can, for example, replay the boss fight versus the Flash as many times as you want. We saw a first look at the Joker this week that will be coming to the game a few weeks after release in March, and his traversal in particular looks really fun. So I still have my fingers crossed that this game will surprise us and be better than what we expect. It at least seems that Rocksteady has the building blocks to make this work. It just really depends on if the gameplay foundation is fun enough to build upon. So yeah, we will be streaming it as soon as we can, so make sure you are subscribed, and I will of course have a Sunday video at the end of the week as well, going over all the biggest gaming news, so also subscribe to not miss that. A like on the video would really help me out, and check out last week's gaming news roundup video on the Indiana Jones game, and way more. I will speak to you very soon. Goodbye.